Hi, I'm Pat Bear, and this is predictions for Summer Sun Princess 26. This is a Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling big event. You know, the equivalent of a pay-per-view. They're all, weekly shows, and then every once in a while they do some big events with longer cards and maybe an intermission and all the titles on the line, where occasionally a title will be on the line here and there, but usually they're weekly shows. They don't do that. So this is a big event, and I have the running order. I have the card, and so I thought I would go through the card and make some predictions. And then I might do a follow-up video where I talk about the results and where they lined up with what I said was going to happen. Yeah, I'm not including this in Wrestling Club. You may remember that for a brief time I was trying out a thing called Pat Bear's Wrestling Club. I don't want to hold this to that. This is just a separate video that I am making and putting up on a Monday, where I'm not putting up an Anime Club video because the timing just worked out. I don't know if I'll keep doing this. If you like this video, let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more. Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling is my favorite wrestling promotion. So let's talk about their big show, Summer Sun Princess 26. Okay, so this is the first match on the card. We know it'll go first. They put the running order up in all of the matches, but also because this is a debut match, this is Momo Sato's debut match, we've got on one side Uta Takami and Ren Katatsu versus Shion Kanzaki and Momo Sato. Momo Sato is a idol, she is a teenager, and her brother is a wrestler in DDT wrestling. And so she started coming around a bit and talking about how he was doing moves on her at home, and she wanted to learn some moves. And, it's like, well, do you want to get trained? Do you want to try that? And she did make an unofficial debut as an idol. This is her wrestling debut with TJPW. Shion, her tag team partner, also debuted this year already and has never won. You don't win singles matches generally against someone that is higher, than you on the pecking order. In your first year, you're lucky if you win a tag match, but she hasn't even won that. So my prediction is that Uta and Ren are going to win. Uta is part of a weird class where Uta is already an up girl. Probably doesn't need to be in this match, honestly. Should probably have been in a better spot on the card, but okay. Ren is an odd duck in that she debuted in a year where no one else debuted. There was a transfer, Mifu, who we'll see later, and then there was an exchange student, basically. There was somebody, Ivy, who was studying in schooling in Japan, and then while there was training, had already been trained as a wrestler, and so was there short term. So Ren was in a weird spot there of her debut year. So she's still kind of pretty green, even though she's been there for a hot minute. Whereas Uta is more experienced and is from a class where she is definitely the top of that pecking order. We'll see one of them later on the card and one not on the card because she is in Australia. So we'll not see Kira. If you're a big Kira Summer fan, she is not on this show. So, sorry. But anyway, yeah, Uta probably deserves a better match than this, but whatever. She'll shine. Himawari, Mifu Ashida, and Shin Sakura. For some reason on this one, Katsushika Hirota are taking on Chika Nanase, Pam Harajuku, and Raku. This is a weird matchup. Hirota, man. Okay, so Hirota, not part of TJPW, a freelancer, debuted in Gaia many years ago, is all over the independent scene. She was a technical wrestler that transitioned to being a comedy wrestler. The Shin part of that is there. Why she has a district or region of Tokyo or Japan in her name right now, I don't know. But Hirota is a comedy wrestler that has kept her going and alive, and her body's able to do it. She is one of a handful of guests on the card. She is definitely on early. She will be goofs. Honestly, she and Raku and Palm probably should have been on a team together to be some goofs, to have a good time. Mifu transferred in. She and Himawari both plenty of experience at Act Res. And Himawari, I should have said there are two roster members who are not on the card for this show. One is Kira, who's out of town, and the other one is Shino, who is right now on hiatus. And she is an attack partner with Himawari. You could imagine they might have been in a tag team if she was going to be on the show. She is not. Palm and Raku probably going to win this one. One of the two of them are going to pin, let's say, Mifu, maybe Himawari. Now, Chica has one of the worst win-loss records in TJPW. She is often just on the team to lose, to take the pin. But I don't think, I think this is going to be a goofy, fun one. Himawari is very funny. She's not, I wouldn't say she's a comedy wrestler. She is a wrestler who can be funny, and she has a couple funny moves. But I imagine it's going to look like she's about to put away Chica, and then some kind of shenanigans happens, and she takes the Dr. Yellow from Raku, and then that's it. Mifu eats the pin, probably. I don't know. Hirota could eat the pin. She didn't care. She's getting paid. And there'll be an audience that might not know her super well watching, which is good for her. How long has this been going? Okay, yeah. Well, I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit here and there. We'll see. There's some matches that I don't have a lot to say about. This one, Yuki Aino and Haru Kazushiro versus Mirai and Toga. Mirai is not from TJPW now. She left, went independent, works for other promotions, is now at home in another promotion. And has been coming back. It's a feel-good story. She won the International Princess Championship for a bit there, which was interesting. She wrestled against Toga and now tags with Toga on occasion, which is nice. Toga has had this is her second outside of the company tag team partner. The other one, Yuna, is currently injured, so this makes sense. On the other side, Yuki and Haru. Prism Greed. They have a dork tag team together. They have gear they wear just when they're a tag team. They have an entrance that is different than their normal music because they are a tag team. They have this Sentai Power Rangers theme thing going there because they are dorks. And this has been phenomenal for Haru because Yuki Aino is not necessarily top of the card, but she's upper mid card. She is experienced, and she's giving Haru a lot of experience being in a tag team and getting some wins, as Haru is a future international princess champion. You heard it here, not first. A lot of people have said it. This is an easy win for the two of them. Mirai does not. Okay, so Mirai wins in TJPW pretty often, but she loses everywhere else, so it doesn't mean much. Toga eats the pin here. It does not really hurt Toga. I think Haru eating the pin here would really be a bummer, and it doesn't quite make sense because they are fan favorites, really liked, and an actual tag team, which TJPW needs because perhaps they will have a future tag opportunity. Perhaps. I thought Haru was going to do really well in the Tokyo Princess Cup, but she is facing people that probably will not lose to her in that. So I was like, ooh, I don't think that's going to happen. I was hoping for her to get a main event shot, but it doesn't seem likely. Aja Kong versus Arasu Endo. Yeah, we'll talk about the why here. Aja Kong isn't losing to Arasu Endo. This is your mid boss. This is a rite of passage. Getting killed by Aja Kong in a singles match means a lot in TJPW. There are a couple other people that this means a lot for. This is the person that means the most. Ryu Mizunami, who I don't know if can still wrestle for TJPW because she is now signed to Sendai Girls. She went back to Sendai Girls, which is phenomenal and fantastic for her. But I don't know if she can show up. But she was a mid-boss. Aja Kong's a mid-boss. You lose Aja Kong, and it means something. She was she teamed with Arisu in a 6-woman, and there was a little bit between them backstage that was filmed in kayfabe, one would imagine. This means the world to her. This is Arisu on the cusp of, if not having a long International Princess Championship, having a world title opportunity, the Princess of Princess Championship, the main big belt. Winning it, not this year, but like, it's coming. I mean, at the end of this year, maybe she wins it. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but she could. She could. I love Arisu. Hey, losing to Aja Kong and having that babyface fire and the never say die attitude and getting a pat on the head by Aja at the end, it means the world. You know, in kayfabe, outside of kayfabe. It's huge for her to have this opportunity to lose to one of the greatest of all time. All right, so this is a 6-person tag match. We've got 3 wrestling promotions in this one match because Imanari, I'm going to double check here. I believe Imanari is signed to Ganbare right now. Yes, Ganbare, which used to be part of Cyberfight, the governing brand, body of all these promotions, is currently not, but he's still affiliated, and he also does appear in DDT on occasion as well. He gets around. He does a bunch of stuff. He's been in Gleets and GTO, and yeah, he's a guy that shows up in a bunch of places. Imanari is on a team with Takagi, Sanshiro Takagi, who is the dad of DDT, the guy that brought in a bunch of wrestlers into various promotions, scouts, including scouting Yuki Kamifuku, we'll come to in a moment, and Mahiro Kiryu, who went to college she went to the same college as Yuki Kamifuku, aka Kamiyu. I don't know the connection that Imanari has with Kamifuku, but there is some kind of connection, and that is why he is in this match. Takagi brought her in, signed her via an agency. That's the reason why she is a wrestler. And Kiryu, Mahiro, they are friends. They are legitimately friends outside of wrestling. They came together they were former tag team partners. They occasionally still tag as Toyo mates, but not that often because they went to Toyo University. Not at the same time, but they did go there. On the other side, Hattori, this is a place for her on the card. I mean, maybe they are friends outside. I do not know. And Kumadori is just fucking cool. Kumadori is he's part of a masked troupe of dancers, and he is also a wrestler, and he is very cool. Now, I should say here, the group that he is in says that he is taking time off due to injury. TJPW has not announced that, but the dance group has. So he might be taking a time off from dancing and still wrestle in this match. He might be replaced day of, and they just don't want to announce it ahead of time. I don't know. They might be still figuring out who's going to replace him. But they have not made an announcement at the time of this recording of this video. I will leave a pinned comment if that changes between now and the show, or at once if he does get replaced, I'll let you know. Anyway, I should have said at the top of this, Yuki Kamifuku, aka Kamiyu, is retiring this year. She'll retire in December of 2026. This is the beginning of her retirement tour, and so they are doing a big match with a lot of people that she loves. And while I do think that she will be losing her last match, and she might even be losing several matches on the road to retirement, I don't think she is losing this one. I think Mahiro is taking the pin, and then they will hug, and it will be nice. If Mahiro was on a team with Kamiyu, maybe, because Takagi losing doesn't happen that often these days, especially in goofy matches. But come on, that's Mahiro. I don't see Yuki eating the pin in any of this. Hattori can certainly eat the pin and certainly will. There's going to be some fun stuff, man. I mean, like, Hattori might take the stunner. She might eat a stunner. I don't know. This match could also not be a match and just be gimmicks and good times. I don't know how this is going to go. I would love to see Takagi and Imanari decide they want to do the apology spot, Masaru Kiryu's apology spot. I would love for them to be like, yeah, we're into this. They'll probably not be into it, and that'll also be funny. Mizuki is taking on Willow Nightingale. Willow's winning. Okay, next. I'm kidding. Willow Nightingale from AEW. This was we don't know who, it's a secret, a sweet secret mystery partner opponent, was what they were saying. And then after Willow returned on Dynamite this week for AEW, won the gauntlet, meaning that she will be taking on Tekla in a match at Retribution, something or other, whatever. The next AEW thing, what is that called? I'm going to look up the name of that. It is Redemption. Retribution is probably too harsh. AEW Redemption. She's got a match with Tekla for the AEW Women's World Championship, which I think she will win that match as well. And she's winning this. Mizuki is not pinning Willow Nightingale. They're not bringing Willow in for Willow to lose. I just don't see that happening. I think Willow is winning this. I think Willow is going to win, is going to, in the same month, short apart, time apart, is going to beat a former TJPW champion and beat a former Stardom wrestler now in AEW. This is going to be a fun one, but yeah, Willow Nightingale is a mid-boss in AEW. If she's not challenging for a belt, she's winning. That's all there is to it. Suzume is putting up the International Princess Championship against Wakana Uehara. Wakana has had championship gold or silver or whatever you want to call it in TJPW, was tag champion with Kamiyu, Ober Eats, and that was her first championship. And her second championship is at this show on the 18th. She's going to win it. This is my big out there prediction. I think a lot of my predictions are safe. I think this one is the risky one. Suzume hasn't had much of a title run, but also this title doesn't really stay with people too long. It's kind of been a mess. It's been a mess since they were like Mocha Miyamoto. They put the belt on Mocha as like okay, this is where Mocha's going to shine. And then she got hurt in that match where she won it. And then she retired from wrestling without a retirement match, just never came back. So like, since then, it's been kind of like, we'll put it on someone who doesn't work here, and we'll put it on this person, and we'll see how this goes. And like, I don't think Suzume needs this belt. I could see Suzume being the next person to challenge for the world, or the big title, the Princess of Princess. I keep calling the world the main title. Whereas Wakana, I could see hold this belt for quite some time, and Wakana is the chosen one of the Miracle Generation. That is a term that some people use. That is not their official term. There were 6 women that debuted the same year. We have talked about all of them at this point, except for Runa, who is not part of the company anymore. But there was Haru and Wakana and Shino and Toga and Himawari all debuted the same year in batches of 3 and 3, because there was another girl named Runa that debuted with Toga and Haru. This was just like incredible. These 6 incredibly talented women, one of whom, as I said, is already out of the company. She was a high school student and she wasn't keeping her grades up, so she got pulled from wrestling. Whereas Haru kept her grades up and was able to keep wrestling because they were both high school students, which is wild. Wakana is the breakout star of that generation, of that crew. I thought it would be Himawari. Toga has shown a lot of progress. But yeah, it's Wakana, the idol, the retired idol turned wrestler who is known internationally for being someone that just eats a lot of food. She's very good at eating food and recording herself eating food. It's kind of wild. And yeah, I think she's going to win that belt. I don't know. I think it's time. I think it's time to put a belt on someone from that generation. They already gave her the tag belt once. She'll be the first person from that gen to have a singles title. I would want it to be Haru. It's not Haru, so it's Wakana. I'm always going to be partial. I have my biases, just like you. Anyway, all right, our champions team here. We got Princess Tag Championship. We got Miyu Watanabe and Rika Tatsumi, I should say, versus Shoko Nakajima and Hyper Misao. Two long-standing tag teams. Champions. Miyu is... God, they're so happy they got Miyu. Singer, dancer, held every belt multiple times. Will be world champion again. No questions about it. No doubts about it. The bit of this one was that they wanted... It wasn't challengers demanding a title match. They were like, we want to fight you next because we know we can beat you, which could blow up in their face, but I actually think it won't. I don't need to see Misao and Shoko with tag belts. I want to see Misao with the Princess of Princess Championship, which I don't think will happen. But I want that. I want singles, not tag. I want singles for Misao. Shoko will hold it again probably at some point for a short run at some point. But like Rika and Miyu can keep these tag belts. They are a good tag team. They're good together. It's going to be a fun match. And also, Misao and Shoko breaking off, doing their own thing, always makes more sense to me. Even though I think it's awesome when Misao has a belt. I just don't think that their time is now, unfortunately. And our final match on the card, our main event of the evening, Yuki Arai defending the Princess of Princess Championship against Mio Yamashita. Or Yamashita. Miyu is the ace of TJPW. She is the head trainer of TJPW. She is the lifer who also tours the world and has an Eve belt and will have other belts and makes appearances in various promotions across the world. And on the other side, you have Yuki Arai, the genius girl, just kind of retired from being an idol. She is now a full-time wrestler instead of being a full-time idol and a part-time wrestler. She has this belt. She defended against Kamayu. We had a Yuki fight not too long ago. It was good. Some people think that this marks the end of the experiment, the Yuki Arai experiment. And I think those people have bought into the idea that Miyu without gold in TJPW feels wrong. And it does. But really what feels wrong is Miyu doing an entrance without a belt. And she's got a belt. It's from another promotion, but she has a belt. She has something. She's wearing something around her waist. And that is all she really needs. So the other part of it where it's like, oh, well, shouldn't have like the belt here. It kind of doesn't mean anything. What means more is Yuki Arai beating her, winning, getting the show of respect. That cements it. I don't think this experiment is over because I don't think it's an experiment. I think Yuki Arai is going to be the champion for a while because it's good for the company to have a younger champion, to have a new champion, to have a successful champion. I did not say this, but the opening match on the card features two women one of whom debuted this year, one of whom debuted last year. They came into TJPW specifically and only because they started going to TJPW because Yuki Arai was performing there and they loved her And so they wanted to see her do a wrestle. That's funny. And then they got there and they realized, oh shit, look at these wrestlers. Look at Suzume. Holy shit, I want to be her. But they came to TJPW to watch a show because of Yuki Arai. And that is going to be the story for the next, like, several generations of wrestlers, where every year there'll be one or two girls that is like, yeah, my first wrestling show was because of Yuki Arai. Like, that's just the thing. And so eventually people will forget that she was in an idol group and that she was a singer and a dancer and a TV personality. That will fade, but it has not faded yet, and it will not fade for a couple years at least. And she's going to be champion for a bit. Now, is she ready for that responsibility? I don't think she is. I think her singles matches have not been fantastic. I think it makes a lot of sense for her to be champion. I didn't think it was going to be Miyu this time. I thought her break was going to be long, or she was going to be traveling more. I think this one, like, honestly, I'm picking Yuki Arai. I could be really wrong here. I don't think this is like the decision where I think Wakana winning, like, where I'm like, yeah, I think this is the time to change the belt. I don't think it's the time. They might think differently. They might think like, we should probably just have Miyu and Yuki Arai can hang out and chase it later. I think Yuki Arai retains, and I think the end of this show is Arisu Endo coming out to challenge for that belt, and that sets up the next person challenging for the belt. I think we do the friendship fight. And I don't think Arisu wins, but I think we do the friend because they are friends. I think we do the friendship fight next, and then after that, maybe after that is when Yuki Arai loses. But I don't think she's losing at this show. And that's gonna do it. I almost talked for half an hour. I was not expecting to do that. But of course, a lot of big show, lot to talk about here. I don't know if I'll do a follow-up video. I might do a follow-up video, talk about the actual results of the card. If there were any changes or anything like that, any surprise returns, any matches, I would kind of like to see, for myself, I'll know what I got right and what I got wrong. But let me know. Hey, let me know in the comments. Any of your picks. You think you disagree with me on anything here? You think it's definitely going to be Suzume holding that gold for longer, or that silver, or whatever? If you think that it's going to be our girls Shoko and Misao are going to pull it off and win those belts, have their tag team reign again, let me know what you think. And if you'd like more wrestling videos, like I said, I'm not going to call this Wrestling Club, but like retroactively, I can come up with a name for a video series about wrestling. If you want more from me about that, let me know. Thanks.